Alrighty, hello guys. I'm back. It is mega late, so I think I will save my Signalis episode for tomorrow. Thank you all for your understanding. I'm not exactly blowing up on YouTube, so basically just do my own thing. Or we just want to get ready for bed. Hey there. Alright, I'm up on TikTok and YouTube now. Ready to resume with Jack Canfield's The Success Principles. We find ourselves in Principle 58. Pay yourself first. It's already past midnight again, so I will push Signalis back. Pay yourself first. You have a divine right to abundance. If you're anything less than a millionaire, you haven't had your fair share. Of Stuart Wilde, author of The Trick to Money is Having Some. In 1926, George Clason wrote a book called The Richest Man in Babylon, one of the great success classics of all time. Fabled story of a man named Arcad, a simple scribe who convinces his client, a moneylender, to teach him the secrets of money. First principle the moneylender teaches Arcad is a part of all you earn must be yours to keep. He goes on to explain that by first putting aside at least 10% of his earnings, making that money inaccessible for expenses, Arcad would see his amount build over time and in turn start earning money on its own. Over an even longer time, it would grow into a lot because of the power of compound interest. Many people have built their fortunes by paying themselves first. It's as true and effective today as it was in 1926. A telling story. As easy as this 10% formula is, I'm always shocked at how unwilling people are to hear it. Not too long ago, I was taking a limo from the airport back to my home in Santa Barbara. 28-year-old limo driver, after realizing who I was, asked me to share with him some principles of success he could apply to his own life. I told him he should invest 10% of every dollar he earned, and then keep reinvesting the dividends. I could tell the information was falling on deaf ears. He was looking for a get-rich-quick scheme. Though opportunities that can earn you money faster are always something to look for, I believe your future must initially be built on the solid bedrock of a long-term investment plan. There's a comic here. It says investments and financial planning. I retire on Friday and I haven't saved a dime. Here's your chance to become a legend. The earlier you start, the more quickly you can build your safety net of $1 million. Sit down with a financial planner, or go to one of the myriad sites on the internet where you can enter the amount of your current net worth and your financial goals for retirement, and calculate how much you need to save and invest from this point forward to achieve your goal amount by the time you retire. The eighth wonder of the world. Compound interest is the eighth natural wonder of the world and the most powerful thing I've ever encountered. Was Albert Einstein, winner of the Nobel Prize for Physics. A number of websites will help you calculate what's required to reach your financial goals, whether you want to determine how much is needed to fund your retirement, calculate how much mortgage you can afford, or estimate how much wealth you'll amass through saving and investing. There's online financial calculators in your internet browser to see what's currently offered. If you're new to the idea of compound interest, here's how it works. You invest $1,000 at a 10% rate of interest, you'll earn $100 in interest, and at the end of the first year, have a total investment of $1,100. You leave both your original investment and the earned interest in the account. The next year, you'll earn 10% interest on $1,100, which is $110. The third year, you'll earn 10% on $1,210, and so on, for as long as you leave it there. At this rate, your money would actually double every 7 years. That's how it eventually turns into a huge amount over time. Of course, the best news is time is your friend when it comes to compound interest. The sooner you start, the greater the result. Consider the following example. Mary starts investing at age 25 and stops when she reaches 35. Tom doesn't start investing until the age of 35, but keeps investing until he retires at 65. Both Mary and Tom invest $150 per month with a rate of return of 8% per year compounding interest. Look at the surprising result when they both retire at age 65. Mary invested only $18,000 over 10 years and ended up with $283,385, whereas Tom contributes $54,000 over 30 years and ends up with only $220,233. The person who contributed for only 10 years has more than the person who invested for 30 years but started later. The sooner you start saving, the longer you have for compounding interest to work its powerful magic. Make saving and investing a priority. The world's most aggressive savers make investing money as a central part of their money management as they do paying their mortgage. Get in the habit of saving some money every month. Immediately take a predetermined percentage of your paycheck and put it in a savings account that you don't allow yourself to touch. Building that account until you've saved enough to move it into a mutual fund or bond account or to invest it in real estate, including the purchase of your own home. The amount of money that is wasted paying rent without building any equity at home is a tragedy for many people. Investing just 10 or 15% of your income will help you eventually amass a fortune. Pay yourself first, then live on what is left. So do two things. It will force you to start building your fortune, and two, if you want to buy more or do more, it will force you to find ways to find more money to afford it. Never dip into your savings to fund your bigger lifestyle. You want your investments to grow to the point that you can live off the interest, if necessary. Only then will you be truly financially independent. He paid himself first. Dr. John Demartini is a chiropractor who now conducts seminars for other chiropractors on how to grow themselves personally and their practices financially. He's one of the wealthiest and most abundant people I know, in spirit, friends, and adventure, as well as in money. John told me when I first got into the practice years ago, I paid everybody first and took whatever was left over. I didn't know any better. Then I noticed that people who had only been working for me less than 6 months were all getting paid on time. I realized that their pay was fixed and mine was variable. That was kind of crazy. The most important person in me was the one under the stress, while the others all had stability. I decided to turn that around and pay myself first. I paid my taxes second, my lifestyle budget third, and my bills fourth. I arranged for automatic withdrawals, and they've completely changed my financial situation. I don't waver. If bills pile up and money doesn't come in, I don't stop the withdrawals. My staff is forced to find a way to book more seminars and collect more money. Under the old system, if they didn't book or collect, it was on my back. But now it's the other way around. If they want to get paid, they figure out ways to make more money. 50-50 law. Another rule John suggests is that you never spend more than you save. John puts 50% of every dollar he earns into savings. If he wants to increase his personal expenditures by $45,000, he first has to earn an additional $90,000. Let's say you want to buy a car for $40,000. You can't put in an extra $40,000 into savings, you don't buy the car. Either buy a cheaper car, make do with what you have right now, or go out and make more money. The key is that you don't raise your lifestyle until you've earned the right to raise it by putting the same amount into savings. If you do raise your savings by $40,000, you know you've earned the right to raise your lifestyle by that same amount. 50-50 law will get you rich very quickly. It is the core of billionaire Sir John Mark Templeton's strategy for building wealth. Don't tell me you can't do it. Most people wait to start saving until they have some extra money lying around. Comfortable surplus. But it doesn't work like that. You have to start saving and investing for the future now. Sir John Marks Templeton, mutual fund pioneer and philanthropist, started out working for $150 a week as a stockbroker. He and his wife, Judith Folk, decided to invest 50% of their income in the stock market while still making tithing a priority. That left two of them only 40% of his income to live on. But by his death in 2008, John Templeton was a billionaire. He kept that practice up his whole life, and later in life, gave away $10 for every dollar he spent to individuals and organizations that support spiritual growth. Who wants to be a millionaire? According to the government figures, in 1980 there were 1.5 million millionaires in the United States. By 2000 there were 7 million. By 2014 there were 9.6 million. The number is expected to grow approximately 20 million by the year 2020, with 65 million worldwide. It's been estimated that someone in America becomes a millionaire every 12 minutes. With a little planning, self-discipline, and effort, one of these millionaires can be you. Millionaire doesn't mean celebrity. Although you might think, judging from Donald Trump, Brad Pitt, and Oprah Winfrey, that most millionaires are celebrities, the truth is more than 99% of millionaires are hardworking, methodical savers and investors. These folks typically make their fortune in one of three ways. Entrepreneurship, which accounts for 75% of all the millionaires in the United States. As an executive at a major corporation, about 10% of millionaires, or as a professional practitioner. Doctor, lawyer, dentist, certified public accountant, architect. Additionally, about 5% become millionaires through sales and sales consulting. Indeed, most U.S. millionaires are regular folks who worked hard, lived within their budgets, saved 10 to 20% of all their income, and invested it back into their businesses, real estate, and the stock market. They are the people who own the dry cleaning business, the car dealership, the restaurant chain, the bread company, the jewelry store, the cow ranch, the trucking company, and the plumbing supply store. Most analysis reports that about 90% of millionaires become millionaires by investing in real estate. However, people from any walk of life can become millionaires if they learn the discipline of saving and investing and start early enough. You've no doubt heard of Osceola McCarty of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, who had to drop out of school in the 6th grade to take care of her family. She eventually spent some 75 years of her life washing and ironing other people's clothes, lived a frugal lifestyle, and saved what she could from the little money she made. In 1995, she donated $150,000, the bulk of her $250,000 life savings, to the University of Southern Mississippi to provide scholarships for needy students. Here's the interesting part. Osceola invested her savings, which is estimated to have been about $50,000 in 1965, in an S&P 500 index fund, which had earned on average 10.5% a year. Her money would have grown to not $250,000, but $990,628, virtually $1 million, 4 times as much. See the Osceola McCarty Fribble by Selena Marianjian, September 5th, 1997, on the Motley Fool website. How to become an automatic millionaire. The simplest way to implement the Pay Yourself First plan is to have a plan that's totally automatic. It is set up so a percentage of your paycheck is automatically deducted and invested as you direct. Financial planners will tell you from their extensive experience with hundreds of clients that very few, if any, follow through with a plan to pay themselves first. It is not automatic. If you're an employee, check with your company to see if they have self-directed retirement accounts such as 401k plans. You can arrange for the company to automatically deduct your contribution to the plan from your paycheck. If it is deducted before you receive your check, you'll never miss it. More important, you won't have to think about your investments. You won't have to exercise self-discipline. It doesn't depend on your mood swings, household emergencies, or anything else. Make the commitment once and it's done. Another advantage of these kinds of plans is that they're free of most taxes until you withdraw the money. Instead of having 70 cents working for you, you have an entire dollar working for you, compounding year after year. Some companies will even match a portion of your contribution. If you work for such a company, get on board now. Check with the employee benefits office of your company and find out how to sign up. When you do, make sure the largest percentage contribution you're allowed by law, but at least 10%. If you absolutely cannot bring yourself to do 10%, then do the largest percentage you can. After a few months, reassess and then see if you can increase it. Get creative about where you can cut costs and how you can increase your income through other sources. If you don't have a company retirement plan, you can open an individual retirement account, IRA, at a bank or brokerage firm. Within our IRA, you make your financial contribution of up to $5,500 a year, $6,500 if you're 50 or older. Ask the bank, the brokerage firm, or a financial advisor to help you decide if you want a traditional or Roth IRA. Paperwork to start an IRA takes about the same amount of time as opening a checking account. Keep it automatic, you can arrange for an automatic deduction from your checking account. For a much more detailed explanation of how to benefit from an automatic investment program, I strongly recommend that you read The Automatic Millionaire, a powerful one-step plan to live and finish rich by David Bach. For those of you older than 40, read David Start Late, Finish Rich. David has done a superb job of providing you with everything you need to know, as well as a host of resources by putting these recommendations into action, even including phone numbers and websites, so you can do all of this from the comfort of your own home. Build assets rather than liabilities. Rule 1. You must know the difference between an asset and a liability and buy assets. Poor middle class acquired liabilities, but they think they are assets. An asset is something that puts money in my pocket. Liability is something that takes money out of my pocket. As Robert T. Kiyosaki, co-author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and creator of The Cash Flow Game. Far too many people run their financial lives by their expenditures and whims. For most people, their investment model looks like this. Your income, 100%. Your expenses and liabilities, $0. Your assets, $0. Take a look at how wealthy people approach their investments. They take the money they earn and invest a large portion of it in income-producing assets. Real estate, small businesses, stocks, bonds, gold, and so on. When you become wealthy, follow their lead. Start approaching your financial activities like this. Your income, 20% goes into your assets and multiple streams of income. 100% goes back to building more assets and multiple streams of income. 80% goes into your expenses and liabilities. Eventually, you can live off the income from your assets and your multiple streams of income. That's true financial freedom. Once your nest egg starts to grow, as your money begins to grow, you'll want to educate yourself further about the best way to invest your money. Eventually, you'll probably want to find a good financial advisor. The way I found mine was to ask successful friends who they use, then listen for the same name to come up more than once or twice. That's exactly what happened. Best to go with a certified financial planner, CFP, which is an instant sign of credibility, but not necessarily a guarantee. Start, ask people like you if they can recommend a planner. Possible you want to find a planner with successful experience advising clients in the same stage of life as you. You don't have friends who are using a financial advisor, you don't get anyone that several people agree on. A good place to go is the National Association of Personal Financial Advisors at www.naefa.org. These planners are fee only, which means their only revenue comes from their clients. They have no commissions at all and pledge to act in their clients' best interest at all times. Planner who earns money, a planner who earns money based on commission rather than a flat hourly rate could have an incentive to steer you in a particular direction. Many aspects, NAPFA standards meet or surpass the requirements needed for a CFP credential. One final word about building an investment portfolio. Be sure to protect it with appropriate insurance, including professional liability insurance if you're self-employed and a prenuptial agreement that acknowledges the financial resources you're bringing to the marriage. Okay, that was Principle 58. Next time will be Principle 59, Master the Spending Game. This time it was Principle 58, Pay Yourself First. The Mastery of the Spending Game will be tomorrow, and then I will follow that up with a Signalis episode. I'm not seeing any viewers currently on my YouTube, so what I've been doing is just canceling my Signalis and pushing it. So yeah, Signalis will follow tomorrow's episode, and I'll try to be better about my time management so that way it's not past midnight already. What can I say, guys? It's hard. It's hard finding time for everything. Like I gotta find time for this, writing, my streaming show on YouTube. Please show my YouTube more love. Like, please give me more subscribers. Wazoo, likes, comments, shared subscriptions. Because until I do, I'm gonna prioritize Jack and then bump Signalis to when I have time for my hobbies. Please pay it forward, though. Please remember to support the show. Any and all support is very much appreciated. I'm grateful for all the support this show should receive. Every donation I should get, Venmo Stormer Show. Please remember to subscribe if you should find yourself on TikTok. Sorry, subscribe on YouTube, follow on TikTok. And thank you for any and all support that the show should receive. Donations from those with the willingness and means to do so. Keep tight. Have a good night. I will be back tomorrow with more success principles and more Signalis. So please and kindly stay tuned. Have a nice night, and thanks for watching.